Hiya folks, JD here, and today we've got the JJRC 360 rocket. So I tried to take this up the other day outside. That didn't go according to plan. Now that is the wind on full throttle, speed mode 3, and she can just cut through it. So we'll give it that for the minute and see how she does. Give her a bit, ooh, give her a bit of altitude. Then as you can see, because of that very rectangular body, when I push her in one direction she does wobble, and then I pull her in the other direction and then she wobbles a bit. Okay, doesn't mean that she's bad. We've got a constant wind. The whole thing being now is that this is an indoor copter, not an outdoor copter. So what I'm going to be doing is just taking this up today indoors here. So let's turn her on. Let's bind single, one up and one down. Now we're all bound. We should be able to now connect to the Wi-Fi, the broadcasting network, which is not my broadcasting network for the house, JJRC. Open up the JJRC app, calibrate the quadcopter, and then take her straight up. Just waiting for that to attach itself. There we are, done. And now JJRC, and we should have some sort of FPV relay. So let's check this out. There we go, yes we do, perfect. So it's down to calibrate, down and to the left, down and to the right to calibrate, opposite ends, until you see the LEDs stop flashing. Once they stop flashing, then you're good to go. So we've got our trim to the right, we've got a couple of other function buttons here as well to the left. What I'm going to do to begin with is just take her off and see exactly how we get on with that. Oh, wrong one. So take her off. We have the standard button on the left to take her off. Okay, let's see how she's doing. Let's trim her out a little bit. God, she's very, very loud. Like a bag of angry wasps. Right. Okay, let's get some video recording on this as well and see how we go. Right, stability wise, not very. She's moving around a little bit. I'm going to try and see if I can trim her out a little bit to try and see if we can get her a bit more stable. I haven't got any windows open here today. I haven't had any light, any heating on, so it's actually really quite cool in the house. So I'm hoping. There we are. Wow, it's very loud. God, I can't believe how loud this is. Brushed motors, they are screaming. Okay, let's turn her around. Look at me. She's a nice looking quad. She is a nice looking quad, but it's just that loud, that sound. God, she's very, very, very loud. Very, very, very loud. I mean, you would hear her and you would think that she'd have more than enough power to get through a 2-mile-an-hour breeze. But as you saw from the start of the video, that wind that we had outside was only 2 miles an hour, and she couldn't get through that. Speed mode 2, using the left shoulder button, and she's a little bit quicker. Moves around quite nicely. And as soon as you stop her, she does wallow a little bit, but more or less, I mean, it could just be my trimming as well, mind. Let me see if I can re-trim her again. We'll put her back with the camera facing forward. I mean, she's not unsteady, but there's a bit more movement in her than I would expect for there being a quadcopter flying indoors. It's almost as if, well, I can see that the quadcopter is moving around like this. The motors themselves are actually causing the quadcopter to wobble quite a bit, and that's making the quadcopter become less stable. But she flies around quite nicely. Speed mode 3 now. She dips even further. She's quite a quick little thing. Wow, she really is quite quick when you let her go. Far too quick for this house. Far too quick. But it's that really, really is goddamn loud. Right, okay, so let's get a couple of photos. So for that, I'm going to stop the video recording and I'm going to hopefully get a couple of photos. So for this, bring her around, bring her into me, bring her down a little bit, and then I'm going to hit the photo button and see exactly how far we do. See exactly how we do with that. She seems to be okay. I mean, I'm a bit concerned about the action of her wobbling on the top. Let's try return to home. Whoa, okay, that return to home button didn't work. That just dropped her directly out of the sky. Okay, let's take her back up. So let's start the motor. Well, let's calibrate. Let's take her back up. Right, shoulder button, and that's it. She's up. So that was the return to home button that I used there that actually made her fall out of the air. But we did see that those landing sprigs actually did cushion her fall quite a lot and caused her to bounce and tip over. But still, it did cause her to actually stop quite a lot. Sorry, to bounce. So let's try trimming her again. It looks like since her being turned off that she has lost her trim. There we are, trimmed up a little bit more. That's probably as good as we're going to get it. But she seems to be just going around. Oh. Okay, so that is spin, which is a little bit crazy. So that feature, what that does is that spins around. So as you're recording, so let's get some video. And then as you click spin, she spins around, getting... Look at that, getting some footage that you can't see because it's far too fast. And then as soon as you stop her, you've got to then readjust her. Okay, so that was spin. But so far, I think I'm going to try this outside again. I think this is far too large and far too... she wants to cover too much space. And that's not something that I think she can do inside. She's a damn fine looking quad though. I really like her. She looks quite strange. That sort of tower affair looking really quite odd. As for battery life, well, without any environmental factors, she seems to be doing quite well. You know, there's certainly not any cause for concern for the second, other than the room is too small to be flying this in. Now, the return to home function was a little bit strange, how she just fell out of the air. So what I'm going to do is try the other button at the bottom. I think that's headless mode. Okay, I'm going to take her out of that. That was headless mode that I just had her in anyway. And that seemed to work quite nicely. Yeah, that certainly feels like headless mode. All the controls are then reversed based on how she was standing. Right, well, do you know what? That is pretty much everything that I can show you indoors, because this particular quadcopter requires quite a bit of room. I'm going to put it into speed mode 2 again. Okay, now all 3 battery lights are flashing. I wonder if that means that we've got low battery. She's certainly doing quite well, you know, she's moving around. It's not taking a lot for me to move her. This is only speed mode 2 as well. So she's still got another 1 speed mode to go. And she certainly does seem to be controlling quite nicely. That was close, but that was just moving from left spin from left yaw and pitch to right. She does move remarkably well. She's easy to control. Very easy to control. Right, I tell you what, folks, I think I'm going to call that there. So I'm going to bring her down, 1 key landing. The 1 key landing button is the same as the 1 key takeoff on the right. That was extremely loud. I hope that's come across on the microphone. Now, with this, what I would say is my first attempt at this outdoors was not good. I'm going to give it a second attempt. I'm going to whack her straight into speed mode 3 for the second attempt and see exactly how she goes. The bottom here seems to have come off a little bit. That was just the landing sprig that came off. Okay, so I just pushed that back in. That's okay. Overall flight, I think she's okay. But of course, I can't really 100% say at this particular time because she's stuck inside here. Now what I'm hoping to have is an outdoor test of this the next couple of days or so, and then we should see exactly where we go from there. I think she's okay. She's a bit unstable, a bit of trim caused her to actually hold her position a lot better, but it's the top of the quadcopter that concerns me the most, because she's wobbling and vibrating a lot, and that then caused her to just kind of float across the living room. Camera actually looked okay. We'll have to see what the quality of those photos are like and what the video is like, but so far I think that actually looked okay. That looked passable. Whether or not it is another question. Now, the orbit circle, that worked, no problem at all, just spun round in circles. Again, as it was doing that, it was quite stable, quite steady. I didn't have to counteract it. Battery life, I'm quite happy with, but that's indoors. No environmental factors hitting on this, so it hasn't got to, compete or fight against anything. So this is the first charge of the battery. I'm now going to take this off, charge it again, and then hopefully do an outdoor flight with it, and then you can see it in its outdoor setting in the next couple of days. This battery is warm. Is actually, yeah, quite warm indeed. Yeah, I actually would be a bit concerned with that, to be fair. The cables are warm as well. Yeah, everything about that is warm. The whole compartment is warm. There's not enough air that gets around there. So what I may do is punch a few holes in this exterior casing, just so that we can actually get some air in there, because it is very, very tightly. Well, it is, there's no air. There's nothing to pass through there. Right then, folks, I'm going to call that, and hopefully we can have a flight of this in the next couple of days, and you can see how it does outside. Right then, thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.